We're back at the radio show, our final segment of our first broadcast ever on 970 AM. The Answer. We're very happy to be here, reigniting our show. We went on hiatus for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. No, maybe it was months, I think. But at any rate, it's been great. Amy Broza, my co-host. I look forward to more shows with you, but we're not done yet here.
It will be fun.
I do want to tell people, though, that a very special group called Cabaret for Life. It's a Jersey Shore-based nonprofit organization that raises funds for local charities. Is going to be presenting its 5th annual The Housewives of Monmouth County show. They are incredible, but it's here at the Supper Club on Thursday, August 14th. That would be Thursday. Or the Wednesday, August 20th, and Thursday, August 21st. You really should come see it. It includes comic skits, videos, and musical numbers, all written by director and CFL founder Andrew DePrisco, an incredibly talented guy, and it's hilarious. The director and performers advise audiences to leave home the children and their husbands, and to which is not a problem for most people, and to make Housewives of Monmouth County Ladies' Night at Tim McLoone Supper Club. So we'll see what happens, but you'll need to call ahead for reservations either through cabaretforlife.net or 877-CFL tickets, TKTS. I don't know. Do you think anybody listening to these things ever actually writes that down?
Yes, absolutely.
You do? When I'm making announcements at the Prudential Center in Newark during Seton Hall games, and I give out these phone numbers, is anybody saying, you got a pen?
Well,
Anybody got a pen?
Maybe not in the arena, but when you're sitting at home listening to the radio, it's a little simpler.
All right. Well, Cabaret for Life. Come see the Housewives of Monmouth County. It's hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, we're still here with Luke Axelson, our manager here at the Asbury Grill and Tim McLoone Supper Club. Hi, Luke. We just couldn't let you go. The beer conversation was so fascinating.
Yes, riveting.
I felt that I'd moved you out too soon. But to buttress your performance here this evening, we do have the legendary, we have made him legendary, Steve the Bartender. Hello, Steve.
Yay, Steve.
How are you?
Steve is very popular. And Steve is one of our original employees here. And you were in the first group. I love telling the story about the first group. When they no, I'm not going to. Maybe I shouldn't. I should do it, right? Tell the story about the first group.
I don't know it, so why
we
not?
come in. This is Asbury Park. Things are a little funkier here.
Friends.
And I walk in the door. We realize we're going to take this place open, and all I can see are tattoos and piercings, and jeans and mismatched clothes, and employees wandering around with like a Heineken in their hand. You know, it was a little loose here, to say the least. And we realize we're going to do this place, so we decide that we're going to have a employee meeting on Saturday morning. And taking a look at this crowd, I figured, let's not have it too early. That could be tough. So I think we scheduled for 10 o'clock or something fairly reasonable. Anyway, there's about 25 people here, including Steve the Bartender, and our now beloved Steve the Bartender, I might add. And so they're all sitting there looking at me. What's this guy going to say? And I said, listen, we don't have a lot of rules here. We try to run a friendly house. It's really pretty simple. Show up on time. Show up in condition to work, which was the first warning shot going out right there when I said, show up in condition to work. And then I wandered a little farther. We're going to give you a uniform. You're not wearing jeans anymore. You're just going to wear, a nice pair of pants and a shirt, whatever we're doing. We need you to do that every day. And, and then there's the other obvious stuff, no drinking on the job and blah, blah. All they heard was no drinking on the job. Within a week, Steve was the only one left.
It's true.
We had an entire turnover of staff. No drinking on the job. Is this man crazy? Why does he think I'm here?
It's all right.
Oh, my goodness.
I work at a law firm. Same thing happened.
But at any rate, Steve, it's great to have you here. Steve has been on our show before, and he is one of the most interesting people you will ever meet in your life. Steve, among other things, does reenactments, right? Are you doing that lately?
Not too much lately, but I have 2 big things coming up next month.
Okay, what kind? See, I made the mistake. I said to Steve one time, "Do you do reenactments? Or was that like Civil War?" And I had immediately offended him. He's like, "Those posers, Civil War, no." What stuff are you doing?
There's a thing coming up called Crown War, where it's all the reenactors get together and basically just duke it out on a huge field. There's usually about 20,000 of us. Until there's about one person.
But you're pretending, right?
No, we use metal and wood, but it's not sharpened metal. And you go out there for so long, eventually you either just pass out from exhaustion or you just let yourself off the field because you can't take it anymore.
Are there ambulances in attendance?
There's
sounds really dangerous.
There are EMTs on hand.
I'm scared of you, Steve. I thought you're such a
No,
nice
it's fun.
guy.
You seem like a gentle person.
It's fun.
Do you turn into an animal when this thing happens here?
Yeah.
Because you're pretty big.
It's fun. That's called Crown War, and then there's Pennsic. Pennzic's the biggest one.
That's the 20,000 one isn't big enough.
No.
Okay.
Pennzic's, everyone from all over the country comes, and we have this huge piece of property in Pennsylvania, and that's usually about like 30,000. It's almost like the size of Woodstock.
And what happens at that?
Same deal.
You just beat the hell out of each other?
But that's a 3-day one. Some people can make it to Friday, some people can make it to Saturday. And by Sunday, whoever's still there basically gets different ranks in society.
This is
I am
totally
so-
subterranean. I'm concerned that people
Steve's
don't know
so
this.
mellow behind the bar. He's so nice.
Remember the no drinking on the job
considerate.
part?
I'm mellow.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
mellow
goodness.
there. I'm more like a referee than anything. Like I make sure when someone like they're not being dirty when they fight. Like no punching under the helmet.
There'll
No
be none of
hitting.
this and none of that?
Just regular punching, no punching under the helmet. That's
People
nice.
people grab helmets, lift up, and sock the person in the
Oh,
mouth.
jeez. Oh, you wear armor?
Yeah.
And so
we
it's
wear lots. Yeah, everything we're wearing is about 130 pounds.
Meanwhile, my son Jack is sitting over there. He's 17. He's like, "How do I sign up for this thing?" You know, it's like, do you?
Jack's going online right now.
Oh, do you pay to do this?
You have like a monthly due. It's called the SCA, the Society for Creative Actinisms. It's it's $20 a month, and you sign up, and you get to go to the meetings, and it's a fun time. They usually have like a big potluck dinner night. It's fun.
Before or after the fighting is the potluck dinner?
That's like around
it's a
here.
different night.
The fighting,
Okay,
you're on
just
your
making
own.
sure.
You fight, and you
So-
hopefully bring enough food.
Then you have to
So
just
in
go
your
out for
world,
paint.
like paintball is just so silly.
Paintball is this week coming. That's another
Oh.
big thing I do.
Wimps.
So
paintball.
meanwhile, about beer.
Yeah.
So Luke, how
Yeah.
you been?
Oh, great.
I'm absolutely.
Still have all my limbs.
Oh, God help me. So we were speaking with Luke a little while ago, as you may have heard, about craft beers, and you've been behind the bar now for how long have you been bartending? Would you say that would be you now, not Luke? Steve, the bartender.
Full bartending 4 years.
Okay. Have you seen a change yourself for what people are asking for when it comes to beer?
Oh yeah, for the longest time we had a lot of requests for like craft beers and a lot of stuff that Luke's actually brought in. We had like some of the more like Corona, Stella, stuff like that. But now that we have a lot of these new craft beers on hand, they're just flying out. Some of them on some days we can't keep them in stock. Some people.
But you're going to take care of that for me, right,
Yes.
Steve? Okay, I'm just checking.
But yeah, no, it's been a big, huge change. Like Budweiser's not moving as fast. Everyone likes these new ones, the IPAs especially. First thing out of most people's mouths is, what IPAs do you have? We have 4 different ones to choose from, and everyone loves them all.
Now, why are they called IPAs?
They're Indian Pale Ale.
I mean, I actually knew that, but I thought I'd give you the chance to answer that. That's the only thing I know. But is that a style of beer? Is it a specific? It's not made in India, right?
No, it's not made in India. You probably be the right one.
It's
Yeah.
India Pale Ale. It's back in the 1600s, 1400s, or whatever it was, when they were taking long trips across the waters, open seas, they would put more hops into their beer so it would last longer. So that's why it's now India Pale Ale.
Wow, it's important to know these things.
Did
Because,
not know
you know,
that.
you have to be cool when you're in a bar asking for an IPA. It's like we were talking to Steve the other night. I remember I was saying to you that when people first go out to order their first drinks and they think they're showing the bartender that they're hip and they're older, so you'd ask for like a 7 and 7
Yeah.
or a whiskey sour,
Oh, man.
which immediately is like 19,
Yeah,
alert,
can I see your
alert,
ID?
you know. So, or rum and coke, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
What thing do young people ask? Well, I mean, we quite honestly are very careful
careful.
here. No, we are careful about it.
Yeah.
But what things would an underage or a marginal person ask you for that tips you off that
Just
before you check
as of
them out?
recently, like
Yeah.
they'll walk in and say, "Can I get 2 fireballs?" I'm like,
Oh, sure.
"Can I get your IDs real quick?"
And what's a fireball?
It's a type of cinnamon whiskey. It's very popular amongst youngsters now. That's like their go-to drink.
So that's the tip off. This is great stuff. You know, this is important for people to know as we're closing in on noon time here on Sunday morning. You know. So Steve, last thing before we go, Steve's going to be a semi-regular on this show, and he also brings with him incredible knowledge of movies.
Yeah.
And we've done our movie segments. Have you seen anything lately that people should go see?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what my son said too. He said it's actually great.
It actually, they did a very good job. I was expecting it to be like another Michael Bay film with just a bunch of explosions, but
Yeah.
the acting was great. A lot of good comedy for all ages, and a lot of like 80s references.
Because when I saw that there's a raccoon in it or something, right?
Yeah, that's Rocket.
A talking raccoon. I'm figuring this is not a really serious genre movie here.
A lot of people were skeptical about just that character,
Yeah.
but they pulled it off very well. That's Bradley Cooper, actually. From
raccoon?
as the
He's the
raccoon. He actually
course it is.
Typecast again.
they did a really good job. Everyone should see that movie.
Now, have you seen? Is it Boyhood? Is that what the one that was?
Oh, about the boy growing up?
Yeah,
and
it's filmed over 8 years or something like that.
I have not. I didn't see that one. I even haven't heard of that one.
I probably should have checked with you before we did this segment because that's one of those great moments in radio. Hey, have you seen that? No.
Well, now I have some homework.
What else do you have, though? What have you seen besides that?
As far as movies recently, I saw Hercules with
And?
Dwayne Johnson.
Awful, right?
Horrible. It was so bad.
See, I loved the original with
never-
Steve Reeves.
Steve, I have that one. I love that one.
Wasn't that great?
This one was a little bit rough on the edges. It was just like the Mummy movies. They were okay, not great, but it was just a whole lot of bad acting and explosions.
How do you have explosions in a Hercules movie? Didn't that take place before explosions?
all the volcanoes are going off because
there
he's
you
angered. He's angered Hades, the god of war.
Oh, God help
No,
me.
that Hades.
Well, I encourage people, if you ever come to visit us here at McLoon's in Asbury Park, I believe
Asbury
it is.
Park, yes.
That you ask for Steve the Bartender, or Luke Axelson will be happy to come out and discuss different beers with you or anything else that we're doing in this building.
Definitely.
I thank the two of you for all the time you spend with us. I hope
Thank you.
you enjoy working
Thank you
here.
very much. Absolutely.
And I want to very quickly tell people that who were aware of our very first restaurant back from 1987, the Rum Runner in
Yeah.
Seabright. The sad part is that we tore it down 2 weeks ago, and it was really kind of weird to see it go. But we are rebuilding, and we started this week, so hopefully we'll be up and operating less than a
is-
year from now.
Wonderful news.
I love that place, and people said it must have been very sad, and dealing with all the different governmental agencies, and I have to give a shout out to Kim Guadagno, our lieutenant governor, who helped us a lot. But it really wasn't sad for me until I walked in at the very last moment. We'd actually left some silverware upstairs, and they're already tearing the building down. I went up and got this box, and I looked at that little tiny stage there, and I realized that Bruce Springsteen had played there, 3 or 4 times, and it was just a sort of a sad moment, but. We'll be back. Listen, thanks so much for visiting us here at the Tim McLoone Radio Show. For Amy Brose and myself, it's been great visiting with all of you. Come see us next Sunday morning.